Hi there children, we're back again for our final Tesco Cookery School cooking lesson. I hope you've enjoyed the other two. And today we're going to be cooking eggy muffins and vegetable soup. You can see I've got some ingredients out here. All of these ingredients I managed to get from my fridge last night and my freezer, so I didn't even have to go out and shop for them, so they're very readily available. We're going to start with the muffins today. So you'll need a bowl, and I've got 4 slices of bread here. Now I've chosen a seedy wholemeal one. You can use whatever type of bread you like. So we're going to start, or before we start, we're going to make sure our hair's tied up and make sure we've washed our hands. I have done all of those things. So now we can touch our food. So I'm just going to tear the bread quite roughly, crusts as well, up into the bowl. Okay, so I've got 4 slices here. Obviously you can change your amounts if you want to make more muffins. These can be used as a healthy snack during the day, or you can have them with your soup as a nice light healthy lunch, because we're going to be adding some vegetables to it. I've got peas here and I've got some fresh spinach that I've chopped up. You can use frozen spinach, but if you use frozen spinach, make sure that once it's defrosted you wring it out and get as much water out of it as you can, or you'll end up with a bit soggy. So I've got some cheddar cheese as well here, and we're going to add eggs. Now, important thing with eggs is to check the date on them and make sure that they are fresh. I can't do that with these because these are duck eggs from the ducks up the road, freshly laid a couple of days ago, so I know that they're fresh. So there's our bread all broken up. We're going to break our eggs now, gently. Duck eggs tend to be a little bit bigger and quite a bit richer than ordinary hen eggs, but you can use whatever you like. I just use these because this is what I had in the fridge at the time. So get all the egg white out, and then we're going to add our milk in there with a little grind of pepper and a pinch of salt. And then we're going to gently whisk, breaking up the yolks until we've got a nice light yellow colour. You can see that mine's quite a bright yellow colour. That's partly because they are duck eggs and partly because they are free range. Okay. Lovely. And then we're going to add our egg mixture to the bread. And I'm just going to take a spoon, stir it all up so that the egg soaks nicely into the bread. Okay. I'm looking forward to these already. Before you start doing this, you need to make sure that you pop your oven on. You're going to pop the oven on at 180 degrees. Okay, so make sure that oven is on before you start. Okay, and we're going to add some grated cheese to this. This is just cheddar. You can use any type of cheese. Mix that up. So all very basic, readily available ingredients that you would have in your fridge or cupboard. Okay, so that's mixed up nicely. I'm going to add some frozen peas to this. So one of our 5 a day, and remember that a handful of veg is going to be one of our 5 a day. So pop those in, and I'm actually going to add some fresh spinach. As I said, you can use frozen spinach. And I'm just going to use our crisscross chopping method for this. So, holding the knife, use your thumb and your first finger around the blade, and then your 3 other fingers on there. Fingers on the top, you can guide the blade. So, roughly chopping this. Obviously, it will get much smaller. If you're using frozen spinach, it will look like much less to start with, but you'll end up with the same product in the end. Okay, And then we're going to add our spinach. You can see we've got quite a few handfuls here, so that's going to really bump up the nutrition in our muffins, our eggy muffins. Okay, we're going to stir that in to our bread mixture. Stir it through. There we are, so it's all mixed up nicely. Next thing you're going to need is a muffin tray. Now I haven't actually got a muffin tray at home, so I've just used this shallow one here. I've got some muffin sort of cupcake thing, but if you haven't got those, then you can just take a square piece of spinach everywhere. Square piece of baking parchment, take a glass, pop it on there, and just mould it around the glass so that you get a nice little muffin tray. So I've got 2 of those and 2 of these. We're going to see which one works best. So we may need more because I've got quite a lot of mixture here. So then we're going to fill our little muffin dishes up. Pack it all down there. And you're going to do that in all 4 until you've used up your muffin mixture. Okay, so here we are. I've managed to fill 6 muffin cases with my eggy muffin mix, which is great because they look lovely. I'm going to pop these in the oven now for 25 minutes. Be very careful when you're using the oven. Make sure you use an oven glove and make sure you've got a parent supervising. Okay, so muffins are in the oven. We're moving on to our vegetable soup. Now you can see I've got the base ingredients for my soup is onion, carrot and celery. I'm going to be using frozen veg this time, so it shows that you can use any kind of veg. I've chosen cauliflower and broccoli because they're 2 of my favourites. You could add more carrot, you could have just cauliflower. It's entirely up to you what vegetables you use, depending on what you like and what you've got in. Okay, so we're going to start with our onion. My big knife. Okay, got the big knife. We've cut an onion before, so here's my onion. We're going to cut it in half with our bridge grip. There we are. So we've got 2 flat surfaces. We're going to peel away the outer skin until we get to the nice white layer of our onion. Now, depending on how much soup you want to make, I'm going to use the whole onion. You might just want to use half if you're making a small quantity, but because I've got quite a lot of frozen veg, I'm going to use all of it. Okay. So here we are with our onion. Reminder of how we did this. So a bridge grip, and we're going to use the lines in the onion as a guide. Okay. There we are. And we've left the ends on so it holds it together. It's still held together. We're going to cut this end off, and then using our claw grip, we're going to cut down our onion into smaller pieces. Okay, and we're going to do the same with the other half. Okay, so we've got our onion chopped, and I'm a little bit tearful, I have to say. We're going to take our onion, pop it in the pan. A little bit of oil in here. I use coconut oil when I'm cooking. It's very good for high temperatures, it's a bit healthier, but you can use extra virgin olive oil or vegetable oil, whatever you have. So in they go, and we're just going to saute them until they're a little bit soft. So there we are. So move them around, coat them in the oil, and then just let them on a nice low heat. We're going to leave those there to saute while we prepare the rest of our veg. So we've got celery and we've got a carrot. So peeling the carrot, going away from your fingers. Make sure that your vegetables are washed and clean before you start. Okay, clean our rubbish away from the board. Have a nice clean working space. Okay, and we're just going to chop that end off and that end off. Cut it in half with the bridge grip again, so we've got two flat surfaces, so your carrot's not rolling around. And then we're just going to cut this into small chunks, keeping your fingers well out of the way. We're going to add that to our onion, and finally our leek. We chop the ends off. Now children, did you spot the deliberate mistake? It's not a leek, is it? It's celery. Okay, so we're going to chop our celery, not our leek. Just take it down into small fingers, and we're going to chop it quite small. Using that claw grip to keep your fingers out of the way, which you might have noticed I'm not very good at doing. Okay, and that's all going to go in with our other vegetables. In goes, and we're just cooking those quite slowly until they soften. And you may or may not want to add garlic to your soup, it's entirely up to you, but if you do, then you can peel and chop your garlic. If you've got a garlic crusher, you can use that. Okay, so I've chopped my garlic and I've used my crisscross method to cut it nice and small. Now, garlic is quite fiddly to cut. You can get frozen garlic, you can get lazy garlic, which is already chopped up for you. So if you're using garlic, remember you don't have to use a fresh bulb, you can use an alternative. I'm going to pop that in with my vegetables. And as you can see, they're beginning to go glossy. A little bit of colour in there. So next we're going to add our vegetable stock. So 500 millilitres of vegetable stock. That goes in. Oops, and drips on the cooker. And then finally I'm going to add my frozen veg. I think I've probably got a little bit too much here, so we might not use it all. But you can pop that in. It will soften as it cooks. That's all going to go in. And if you are using frozen vegetables, then it's obviously going to need a little bit of time to simmer to defrost them. So I'm going to put the lid on there, and we're going to turn that up a little bit and let it simmer. We've got our muffins out of the oven, nice and golden brown. We'll pop those on a plate. So these can be used as a healthy mid-morning snack or as part of your lunch. Okay, and we're going to go over to our soup, which is all cooked through now. You can see it's quite lumpy. Now, if you like your soup to be a bit chunky, you could use a potato masher to mash it and just break down some of the vegetables a little bit. I prefer my soup to be a little bit smoother, so I am going to use a whizzer like this. Okay, so I've used my little whizzy machine. Please do this with supervision, children, because it can be messy and it might be an idea to wait until it's a little bit cooler. So it's still got some texture to it, but we've got lots of nice green colour in there, lots of vitamins and minerals. You might want to add some creme fraiche to this to serve. Okay, so there we are. We have our vegetable soup, lots of veg, and our eggy, cheesy muffins to go with it. So just to recap, lots of fruit and veg in there. Eat the rainbow. We could have put some red peppers into our soup as well. You can put peppers into these. There's lots of different things you can use to mix and match. As I say, things you have in the freezer, things you have in the fridge, everyday stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. I hope you enjoyed doing your cooking. Remember, you can stop and start the video at any time as you're going along. And I look forward to seeing lots of photographs of you cooking and eating the spoils of your work. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to do Tesco Cookery School with you, and I will look forward to seeing you all in September. Have a great holiday. Bye.